Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nasha and we are playing KSP 1.31. So we are looking at my Eve Rover Lander here, and I have done some big revisions on this lander here after suggestions from my viewer Drailer. He's really inspired me. I spent some hours actually to make my very simple Eve Rover Lander a lot more complicated but a lot more cooler. One of the things I first changed that I quickly discovered and is when you are on Eve, everything changes very fast. So we can see here that our current configuration of this whole rocket, if we zoom out here, will not even be able to be possible to take off from Eve's surface. And if we do it from the, if we do it all the way down to the atmospheric level at the ground level, we will not be able to be able to do anything here. As you can see, the thrust to weight ratio has gone off. So what did that mean for our? It means with our solution by using separatrons like I did in the earlier revision, it means that I need to have around 4 of them of every square here, so a total of 16 to create a thrust to weight ratio over 1, so this top will go up, and that quickly becomes very dangerous and explosive when I tested it out. So I had to come up with another solution for that problem. So let's just change this back to Kerbal. So we're back to, I'm just confused here. So I forgot my own thread of thoughts here. So what I did instead was to exchange our separatrons that would blow off our top and shoot it away to landing gears that will lift it off more gracefully here. So I think I'm going to demonstrate how it will work, and I think it will work on the surface of Eve. We have to remember that there is a higher gravity on Eve 2, but I'm hoping this will work, and I probably will. So let's go out to the launch pad and I'm gonna show you how this payload works here. So here we are at the landing pad here, or launch pad is the correct term. So by having 16 separatrons, 4 at every square here all around our payload, it was a very explosive. it turned into explosive instead. It was too unpredictable, and I don't want to spend a lot of time going to Eve to have that problem. So instead of this will be happening. We will stage our parachute, and we will go down on Eve's surface, flying slowly there as the atmosphere is thick as yellow. And then I will just separate the top from the bottom here, or first I will release my rover here, which I would have, and it works in this way too. So you can see here what happens if you do everything wrong. This was not the result I was looking for, so this is a little bit embarrassing. Let's try again. So it would be kind of nice if I had that ironic KSP theme music here, because that was kind of what happens here. So let's try this again here without using the gear. So first we stage our parachute. We are floating down in yellow here and slowing down our speed, probably at very low meters per meter. So I would guess we'll be around below 6 meters per second. So that's really a safe speed for landing. So let's release first. That was our parachute, and then we release our thing here. I forgot to break it here, and there we can see our rover there. And then we will stage the last part here with a no ejection force on our separators here. Boom. And then we just used our gears, and you will see that okay. It will tip over after a while. As you can see, our rover is now separated from the top, so that works very well. Less dramatic than shooting off our top with separatrons, of course, but it works as it should. The only thing I'm starting to think is what will be happening if we get the spring length a little bit, and I have to test that one. Let's go back. So yeah, let's see what happens. Spring strength, yeah, damper strength. It doesn't really matter so much, the damper strength. But yeah, we are on Eve, it will be a little bit more gravity, so I'm just curious what will be happening. So I'm not sure about deploy shield, what that actually does. Let's try it out. So let's try this again. Stage, stage, stage. And brakes. So let's see. It just makes this a little bit more stiffer, but it does. I think that will work better here. But so we have to just wait until it tips over here. Oh, this worked very well. And I've done this a couple of times, so I know it's safe for our rover. So yeah, so that is how I solve it without separatrons instead of shooting at the top off. So let's take a look at the rest of the rocket I've created. So yeah, let's do that again. I am thinking that I want to have those quite stiff. I'm not sure how much forces that will be on it, but it doesn't seem to create any problems to get the spring strength higher. The damper strength is probably just when you're landing, but yeah, let's just keep it up here. So those ejection force is 0, we have this there ejection force 10, and we have a rotation wheel with a heat shield. In the earlier revision I had one of those big ones, but to gain some gain some weight loss, that is a really weird sentence. To lose some weight, I decided to go with a little smaller one. The only problem I can see with my new revision is that the landing gear will actually be outside of the circles there, so I'm hoping they will not explode, because they will become overheated here, because yeah, they are sticking out of here. So yeah, that is the only thing I'm worried about, the payload design right now. So I'm not sure what about this is, but I wonder if those shields is strong enough to take the heat from the Eve's atmosphere while we are doing our descent. Yeah, that is a problem we will find out. That is probably my only failing I can see in this design. So, what has changed here? Yes, I'm using a very interesting way of to kind of make sure that we have contact, as this is a more or less probe, Kerbal-less design, so we don't have any pilots or anything. We are depending on probe control. So what we have here is a relay behind our payload here. So what we are gonna do when we are orbiting around Eve, we are gonna release our payload into the atmosphere, right into lower it and get the descent here, and then we will have our relay here, and we will then higher our descent so we are outside our atmosphere and create orbit. So what will be happening is that the payload will go right into the Eve's atmosphere, and then our relay will be just behind it our payload can talk with our relay that is just orbiting behind it, and that will create an orbit around Eve with this one behind it. This is a really cool solution, because yeah, that will mean that we have two purposes of this payload. It's a two payload here. We are releasing a satellite around Eve at the same time we are landing at Eve. So that's Drayler came up with this solution, and so it's a really cool one. So what I've done here is a very simple design. We have some batteries here, around 4K of battery power here, so we can make sure of that, and we have all the power we can need. We have 4 extra large gigantor solar arrays here, which this one requires around, I think it's a 68 electric charge per second, and every relay does this. The only difference between the relays is their size and their range. I went with one on the smaller ones for the weight, and I also added some antennas just because it looks weird to just have a satellite here, and I'm yeah, and I have every antenna and solar relay on action group, so everything will unfold here. Also, as I prefer not to use reaction wheels while I'm going through the atmosphere up to low Kerbal orbit, I have also put that on action group, so it will activate the wheel and the antennas and everything. I don't like to use reaction wheel, but sometimes it creates like this, yeah. Sometimes this creates that the whole structure will start bending just because the reaction wheels are working, and I kind of just prefer to use my engines and all the fins I have here to control myself when I'm going up to low Kerbal orbit. Or it is easier that way, or at least maybe there is other solution, but I haven't found out. So, and of course we have a transfer part, interplanetary transfer part here, which has around 5000 delta V, or sorry, let me think now. Yeah, I think it's around 4000 or something. Yeah, yes, it's 4000 here, I think. Or am I wrong? Yeah, let's make it easier to see. So we have around 5600 delta V power to take. That is our interplanetary stage, which going all the way to Eve. So I left a lot of delta V so we can get a nice orbit, and we can adjust if we want to. So we will make sure that our payload will be landing on ground or land. So cool. And of course, as I love separatrons, everything has separatrons, so everything will separate very nicely. We have these parts, the structural pilot part. I kind of like them, but one of their less benefits is that they don't have any ejecting force. They will just peel off without any force. That's why I kind of like to have separatrons here, so they don't tangle in too much. And of course I have separatrons there too. I really like when it separates very nicely there. I love separatrons. So yeah, and it's a more or less very basic low Kerbal orbit part here, so that will take us, that has around 4000 delta V. I think I've filled, or this is not the design, but yeah, a thing I do sometimes when I think I have too much delta V, but I'm too lazy to restructure my whole part, is that I just emptied it out here. You can empty out quite much there. So you can see there, you can lose some weight by just removing it. This one will fly fairly well, so you could probably just, I think 3800 is a very better number, and I think I will actually go with that. The thing is, every time I lose some weight here, I like to lose the weight on the last stage before we go to low Kerbal orbit, and not here. So yeah, so we can see there we are down to 3000, and that loses our weight, and our thrust to weight ratio will become higher. So we can actually, I think I want to lose even more. So this part has now, we have emptied that part out, and we're still around 3945. So yeah, this is kind of how I do it, so I don't have to redesign my lower stage part all the time. Yeah, I'm thinking we can even do it without it, but it looks so nice. So let's just go with empty parts here. Yeah, so that is, our thrust to weight ratio will become greater. It's almost like I don't need this part. Yeah, let's do it like that. So we have around 365. That should be more than enough for us to go to low Kerbal orbit. We have gained some thrust to weight ratio all the way, if we want that. Or yeah, let's make everything super idiotic, foolproof. I can fly like an idiot now with so much delta V. We still have a good thrust to weight ratio of 1.32. which will leave us at the launch pad at 1.20. Yeah, that's really good. I'm very happy about those results. So let's see. Yeah, so the last thing we want to do here to make this ready for our next episode, in this episode I will also be launching 2 satellites around polar orbit around Eve, but let's start by first we want to build a fairing here. So let's start with that. It's always a little bit finicky to do this, especially when it is very narrow places here. I'm waiting for the green one here to make it possible. Thank you, game. And our thickest part here is probably around the solar array here, so let's try to go around it a bit. And then we can go in a bit. It's always also a little bit small work here. Yeah, those landing gears is sticking out the mostly. That is what is worrying me the mostly here. Not the best fairing here, it really doesn't matter that much, as long as we get a good profile. It's not looking very great. I would prefer a more aesthetically pleasing profile here. But it should do what we wanted to do. So let's just save this, and we are done with this, and we will fly this in the next episode. So let's go look at my satellite carrier here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we have my satellite carrier. What makes this different from my 4X satellite carrier, where I carry 4 satellites? Is that this is actually smaller satellites here. We have satellites around here that can have around 2K delta V or around 1.8 delta V, and the only thing they need to do is to make a polar orbit around Eve. So I have 2 different ways to do this, and I decided to do it in this way. The reason for this is I could shoot them 2 times, or get them to low carbon orbit and shoot them twice, or I can make an interplanetary stage part here, which will take both of my 2K delta V satellites in a polar orbit around Eve. So I would just go with my interplanetary start, go from low carbon orbit, make a transfer all the way to Eve, put ourselves in a polar orbit, and then we will be saving the time to make 2 trips, because both of these ones will be delivered in a polar orbit, and all I have to do is to just place them out how I want them to be. So it's more or less the same satellite carrier as I've designed before, but with a small difference with having an interplanetary part of 3000 delta V just to take us to Eve polar orbit. So it saves us 2 trips, which is very nice because it takes quite a while to go all the way to Eve. So this is just a simple everything is super simple with this one. We have 2 stages here to take us to low carbon orbit, which has a delta V budget of 3.8K delta V. And again, I'm being lazy and just lowered my tanks here. We can see how much delta V I will be getting. If I went with full tanks, I will have around 4,200 delta V. So yes, if I wanted to add more satellites or anything else, there is room for that, and I really like that. As you can see here, when I'm low in the liquid fuel, you can see our delta V gets lower, but removing the oxidizer, the 2 will get our weight lower, so we will gain back all those delta V here. So let's put us around 3.8 there. So cool, so that is my satellite carrier, new carrier with a transfer part here. Yes, so let's go to space. Oops. So we just escape on the atmosphere here. So let's get all our solar panels out, get all our reaction wheels working. And yeah, then we also have to circulate to go just around 100,000 meters here. So yeah, we're just gonna wait for this very slowly turn around here. So getting ready to do our circulation burn here. So a very short one. Let's see, so we can get it about the same here. It's about the same here. So we have done our circulation burn. That's really great. So let's check it at the map here. I will count very generously here because we have seen the trip to Eve so many times. Bye, low curbing part, and now we just have our transfer part. I could deploy my fairings here, but it's a great trick when I explode them, that they will bounce back right into our satellites, which will break very easily. So we will keep them there, that will gain us some weight that we're gonna carry through half of the curbing system here, but yeah. I'd rather not do it for the risk of that they will bounce into that, explode, bounce into that, and bounce back to our satellites. So yes, I will carry around 1 ton extra or something, but yeah, it will work. Okay, cool. So let's start planning our transfer. So let's go for this part. We are at 1 point, yeah, around. Well, let's first get this right here. 106 kilometers, final orbit is not that super important, but it's a very nifty mod, this transfer window planner, but it's not very correct most of the times. So yeah, but it really helps here. So our closest, so how many days until the transfer this is quite close, I think. I think it's just a couple of things there. Okay, so let's add alarm, copy details. Go to our precise maneuver. I really like the plugins that helps me to do all these things because it saves so much time. But yeah, they can be, sometimes they are not very correct, so you have to live with that. So first add maneuver here. We will paste the maneuver from clipboard, which is from our transfer window planner mod. Okay, cool, bam, there we have. Nice planned one for 115, but you never know. It actually seems for this time around, it actually seems to hit the target correctly. There are times where it is not that easy, that you will get approximately approach here, but this is very good. This will take me like 5 minutes of my life to plan, so thank you. So usually we are coming here in a very normal approach here, so this will probably, as you can see, okay, cool. So that is, let's see, we have the sun over there, so yeah, that is kind of equator orbit. We don't want it like that. Let's see if we put 1 delta V into normal, it will. We can probably adjust this a little bit more later, but I'm good with this approach. When we have the escaped curbing, I will try to plan to get our orbits into a polar orbit here, which I think will require a lot of normal that I probably could put in right now. But for now, this is at least as good as it gets. So what we want to do now is go all the way to the track station. Well, Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at a tracking station, and it seems that our transfer is just 100 days from now, so this will be, for once, not a very long wait. So that happens sometimes, so let's spend 100 days. So let's see here. We are slowing down here in the tracking station, and it seems that our maneuver is in 3 days here, and spending 3 days in Kerbal low carbon orbit is actually painfully slow. So let's try to speed up the time while we can do it from here a lot faster. It's not a... I wish I could just see the maneuver there. So there is 3 days. Let's go a little bit faster. Yeah, I'm so always paranoid that I will not get a good... we'll go over the transfer time here. So let's go a little bit like that. 2 days. 1 day. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally approaching our maneuver, so I will just do a burn here so we can get the estimated burn as usual. So let's see here. We have an estimated burn of 3 minutes and 34 seconds, so 1.5 minutes with 1.5 minutes 45 seconds plus to 1 minute and 47 seconds we need to do our burn. So yeah, it's a fairly short burn, and that our thrust to weight ratio is fairly high, so let's meet each other when I've started to execute this maneuver. Cool, it's almost time to execute our maneuver, so let's see in 3 seconds. Let's get ready, set, go. Okay, cool, we are at the last part here. We are just gonna try to get a good approach on Eve here before we escape here. We can see we got 30 delta V left until we are there, so now I'm gonna slow ours down a bit. Let's see where we end up. So if I go a little bit more in this general direction, we'll soon get our approach. Yep. Okay, cool. So let's see how it looks from Eve. You can see our... So let's get a little bit closer from here before we escape the sphere of influence from Kerbal. Okay, there it stand here. So yeah, I think if we go normal, when I've escaped here, I think if we go normal now. Okay, let's swap all the way out here. Okay, we're almost at the end here, so let's just go the last part by just time warping. There we are. So let's see which one is which. I think this is the correct way. So let's see here in 40 minutes. So let's go to Eve and let's see how we ended off after we have escaped. Yeah, this was fairly the same. Fairly. So let's see if we can adjust this so this works better for us. Prograde is still doing that. So let's first go normal. Oh, sorry. Okay, cool. We are getting there slowly. So 239, that's really good. Let's go a little bit more normal to the air, and then we want to go retrograde here. So that's really cool. That is what I believe looks like, if I line everything up, it looks kinda, maybe need to adjust it a bit when I arrive, but I think that should be a good polar orbit where we can then go retrograde and make orbit. So let's see, let's meet each other when I'm gonna do this correction. But first of all, I want to get, as we are just using 324 delta V, I think I want to thrust limit to myself to get our engines a little bit weaker, so I have a easier time to execute this maneuver. Okay, 5 seconds until burning. Let's do it. Let's speed this up. Okay, cool. We are approaching our predicted route here with our maneuver. It's starting to shape off here. I think we want to go a little bit slower here. Cool. It looks very good here. Okay, cool there. That's good enough. So let's remove that. Now we want to arrive in Eve. So there we have. Our predicted route is 153,000 kilometers. Where could a sun orbit? I think that is kind of polar, but it's not perfect. Yes, we can see the sun there, so yeah, it's not super perfect, but yeah, I'm fine with this. So let's add a maneuver. We will circularize here, and we will try to fix this a bit like this. So yeah, we can see the sun there, so that should be good. 153, yes, that's a very good maneuver, because yeah, we can use the help of the sun to guess where the polar orbit is. Yes, cool. So let's point ourselves into the maneuver. We have a 1394 delta V burn to do, which shouldn't be very difficult to do. So let's see. I want to go here first. And then we want to do estimated burn here, so this could affect our height a bit. And I have to do it, otherwise it will be very difficult for me to guess. So we have 3 minutes, 1.5 minutes, and 5 seconds plus 4. That's 1 minute and 9 seconds. We need to do our burn, so let's get a little bit closer. We can see, let's find out how it looks here. Yeah, we have a lot of vessel links here. I'm turning them on just to demonstrate here. My 2 polar satellites is probably not needed for my Eve landing at all, because we have such a good communication network going here. But it will at least not make it worse. It's time to make it ready for the burn. A little bit early, and it shouldn't be a problem. So let's see what's happening from this view here. We have good communication with the satellites here. I'm fine with that, because we have a satellite in that direction too. This one should probably not work any longer, the links from that direction, which I believe must be Duna or Kerbal, as there is so many satellites. Cool, cool, cool. We are approaching a quite low orbit here, so that's nice. Very nice indeed. We just have around 100 delta V left. It's not super important that it's an even orbit around here. We just need to be Okay, I'm fine with that. As long as it is polar, I can work with it. And it seems quite straight here if we look at the sun shadows here. So yes, I'm fine with that. Cool. So we can actually start doing what we are supposed to do here. So first, let's get out of map mode. And now it's time to concentrate, Sunesha, because this can go very wrong if I'm not thinking about this, doing this carefully. First, we want to decouple one of these. We want to go over. And the reason why I wanted to separate here, because when we explode the fairing, it will be bounce into things and destroy things. We don't want that to happen. Yes, we are in the safe distance now. We can get rid of all our parts. First of all, let's control from here. And let's rename the vessel here so we don't get it here. So let's call it Eve Polar. Not a very good name. Maybe we'll rename them later. But yes, R800 2K Delta V and -1. So let's copy all of this so we don't have to do it all over again. Cool. So let's first extend our solar panels. So we got all that power is going there. And now we would just place them out here. And let's activate the reaction wheels, and now we can control it. So let's just go retrograde here, and the couple of this one. Let's see which way. Oh yes, we are not hitting our satellite carrier. So cool. And let's stage our engine. Or yeah, let's do it manually here. So okay, cool. So everything is fine with that. Which way are we traveling? I think we are traveling in this direction. So yeah, let's find out here. We have the sun over here. So if I point myself to the sun first, like myself out, spin around, and maneuver, put in around 1500. We got to escape. So let's start getting it back. I think it is, I really need around 1200 here. And what I wanted to do is get it to go as high as possible, straight up. So, and it will go slower here, so it will spend most of its time in orbit in the upper part, and that is what I want. And I wanted to, that's why it goes close down here. So yeah, let's see how high up we can get it. If we work it a bit. Those last Delta V we added here, it's adding a lot of time up there. So we wanted to be as close as possible there without escaping. Cool. And the other satellite is gonna do the complete opposite. It will go down. So it means it will spend most of its time covering the upper part of the Eve here. So that is why we have created these satellites. And this is more or less overkill for my upcoming Land with Pro Eve episode. So let's see. Oh, there we go. Thank you. So let's, first of all, this time around, I don't put one of the remote guidance units. We have to manually go into maneuver ourselves. So let's see. But the thrust to weight ratio should be very, very high, as we are just a small satellite. So let's do an estimated burn. So we have a burn of 1 minute and 42 seconds divided with 230 seconds plus 50 seconds, 51 seconds. So we need to burn at 51 seconds. Cool. And it's not super exact that it have to be, but yeah, it'd have to be okay at least. So let's jump ahead. I've already forgot what I said. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to burn. I think I can't remember if I thanked Draylo, but yes, he has spent a lot of time helping me, and he actually explains things in a way so you don't need an engineering degree to understand. So yeah, it does help a lot. I think our Eve landing probe mission will be a huge success thanks to him, because yes, he took my ideas and gave me tips to make them better. So yeah, I'm really thankful for that. So thank you, Draylo here. So let's see here how it goes. We can see here our satellite has communications all the time in the air. So yeah, we are starting our satellite have a very good things here. So how are we doing polar-wise? It's quite good. If we visually check it, I will say it's a little bit off, but not a lot. I will still call it a polar orbit. So yeah, visually by using the sun as a measuring tool to get a good polar orbit actually works. So cool. Okay, so let's go a little bit slower here, because it's actually easier to get a good or a higher orbit here just by going a little bit back prograde and retrograde here. We got escaped here, so if we just burn a little thing there, we will get a very good orbit there. Thank you, I'm very happy with that. Let's go to the other one. Will I be able to select it from here? Maybe, that will be helpful. So we can see our 2K switch to. Thank you! That saved a lot of time. I actually didn't know. I think I've done it when I've been at the surface, but I never done it like that. Okay, so first of all, let's decouple this one thing here. And let's switch it over. We have nothing to bump into, so let's just deploy the fairing. Let's just get these things going. Toggle. And then I want to, let's see here. We have solar panels. Looks like the solar panel is clipped into each other. That is not how it's supposed to be. Something has moved a small bit, but it doesn't seem to destroy them at least. So let's go to ours. Let's first rename this. Accept. Cool. So let's go to our satellite carrier. We will first go retrograde here. It's quite fast, actually. So if I use retrograde burn here, I will not crash into my satellite. It will actually go away from that. So let's just deorbit this one, so we don't have to deal with this any longer. Bye-bye, satellite carrier. You are going to your own death. Cool. So let's decouple this part here. Oh, we didn't want... We want to control it from there. Cool. So now we have our satellite here. So what we're gonna do with this is exactly opposite what we have here. So we have the sun over here. So let's just add maneuver. What did I say? 1200? Yes, around 1200. So we can see here, compare it to the other orbit here. So it will go in complete opposite. It will go down there. So cool. 1200 and cool. There we go. So we have let's point ourselves into the maneuver. And it's over there. So let's just go here first. Cool, let's remove all the satellites. We lost the connection there. Too far away. And then we will just do... Oh yes, I need to activate the engines. Let's do it. Okay, cool. So it should be more or less the same burn actually. So the last burn for this one is about to happen. Cool. Oh, I made an escape there. Oh, I'll do it, yes. Cool. Let's just get it. Let's just go slowly until we are having an orbit again. Cool. So now we done here. Look at this. This will be awesome because that will give us even better coverage. We can see the other satellite here going up here. So we will have good coverage around Eve here. And that will also, then we have all the coverage as you can see from these guys here. So yeah, I think we more or less have a very good network here, and our landing shouldn't be a big problem here. So let's switch to our Spore, or the satellite carrier that should go to its exploding depth here. Let's see how long we will be surviving here. Oh, that was not what I thought it was gonna be. So let's go back to map mode. I want the satellite carrier. I think it is already died. Yeah, however, yeah, it will just crash into Eve. It will not be super exciting. And there is no Kerbal along. So we can see the different satellites now are overlapping each other from here. This one is going up here, so we switched to this one. We can find out how long time it will take for the satellites to go all the way up. I'm curious about how many days it will be. Maybe around 20, I'm guessing. Let's find out. So if we would go there's 13 days, and going all the way here is 28 days, so almost a month it will spend its time there. So 28 days and 3 hours there. If I will go here is 28. As you can see, it spends a small amount of time being close to the surface. So most of the times it will actually be above Eve, like the sign. So that was everything for this episode, and as always, thank you for watching.